Vincent Tsay, and today I will be commentating a match between Arthur Zhu and William Wu. So they will be playing 10-minute games plus 2-second increment. For more information about Chess4Unity and our events, be sure to visit chess4unity.com. So they should be getting started soon. After they start playing, then I can watch them play and commentate at the same time. So just waiting for them to get started. So this event that so they're getting started. So let's look at them. So Arthur starts out with e4 and e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop e5, the Roy Lopez. Okay, so bishop c5, castle. Okay, this line is a little interesting. So here, I can probably play c3 and immediately try to play d4. So c3, d4. Yeah, so that's what Arthur does. And now d4, I think, is strong. Okay, he goes rook e1. Play castle. Yeah, now d4 loses some of its strength. So, I mean, you can still play it, which he probably will. Well, I can also, try d3, but he went for the more aggressive approach. So here, knight c3 is natural. I guess bishop d2 is also possible. I would probably just play knight c3. Okay, he plays bishop d2. Now black probably will take on d2, and then we take back with the queen, with knight c3, just completing the development. Queen takes, probably. Oh, okay, so he takes with the knight, which is slightly surprising because the knight probably should be on c3, but he probably wants to maneuver it somewhere, like f1 to e3 or something. It's also tough to do. Okay, bishop b5, so black wants to kick the white bishop, and the bishop should probably go to c2. Yeah, bishop c2 is what I would play. Followed by rook c1. And white should be slightly better in this position. Okay, so he plays bishop b3, which I guess is also logical. So his idea now is simply play rook c1. Okay, now h3. You should probably add h3 in between before doing anything else. And that's probably what he'll play. Because black in this position is threatening knight takes d4. So, because the knight is pinned to the queen. So first you attack the bishop, and once the bishop moves back, then you play something like, it's still kind of tough to see what you can play in this position. Maybe queen c2 or something, just to get out of the pin. Yeah, queen c2 looks nice. Okay, he does play h3. And now his opponent will probably play bishop h5, like I said, just to maintain the pin on the queen. If his opponent takes on f3, then we can just take back with the knight. And we have a great center control. Okay, so his opponent plays bishop h5 as expected, and now Arthur will probably move his queen to like c2 or something. At least that's what I would do. Okay, he went for g4, which makes sense. And now black does have this interesting option of going for knight takes g4, which in this case probably doesn't work. So because he takes, and now white has his bishop d5 move, which is strong. Yeah, so instead black should probably just play bishop g6, if that's the case. Yeah, so black should play bishop g6, and then white just goes rook c1. Yeah, this is probably a little bit better for white as well. Okay, he goes straight for g5, which is slightly unexpected, because now black can go knight h5 and bring the knight to f4. Okay, so after the knight moves, he wants to play bishop d5. Okay, I see. Bishop d5 is clearly his idea. But now, okay. Yeah, this is complicated. But now black can play queen d7, right? Attacking the h3 pawn. Yeah. Nice move. Now if you go rook c1 attacking the knight, we can just take on h3, and if you take the knight on c6, we go knight f4. And it's probably checkmate at some point there. Yeah, so sort of a tough situation for white. Like, I'm not exactly sure what he can do here. He probably has to take the knight. Yeah, but that's obviously not what he wanted to do. Yeah, so let's see what Arthur comes up with here. Yeah, black is playing extremely well in this game so far. Yeah, now he has to take on c6. That's his only move. So the drawback of g4, g5, which is now white's king is extremely weak and vulnerable, like these squares, weak, right? And black can penetrate on those squares. Okay, I'm gonna try to see if there's any other move. Okay, he goes knight h4, but now, okay, queen takes h3. Yeah, then bishop takes c6. But I think black should probably play knight takes d4, sacrificing exchange, right? And after bishop takes a8, rook takes a8, seems like a lot of compensation there. Yeah. Wow, this is already super sharp. Okay, knight f4 is also a move that can be considered. Yeah, knight f4 is probably even simpler, just cementing advantage for black. Yeah. Because the idea of knight f4 is to attack the black bishop, to attack the white bishop, and attack these pawns on h3 and g5. Okay, he does that. Okay, but white has bishop takes c6 here, so that was probably not the best. Okay, queen takes c6, queen f3. Yeah, white has queen f3, which is nice. This situation, black couldn't take on h3 because of queen f3. So, okay. Now white regained control over the position. Yeah, black's knight is hanging, so he has to play knight h5. Because if he goes knight e6, then white has d5. That's uncomfortable. Okay, here white can play rook c1, just to take control over the c file. Yeah, that's what he does. Okay, now, let's see. Okay, d5 is a nice move. I don't know if it's the best, but it seems logical. Just trying to maneuver his knight to d4, where it can go to f5 or c6. So, d5. Now, what can black do here? If I were black, I would try some f5 at some point. Maybe not now, maybe after rook a e8, knight b3, f5. Because black has to get quick counterplay, or else he's just going to be worse the whole game. Let's see. A crazy game so far. Okay, he goes f6, which also is probably even better than playing something like f5. So, yeah. Here, black's idea is to open up the f file for his pieces. Okay, that move, queen g4, okay. But now, black can take on g4 and play knight f4. So, queen takes, knight f4, and this square is weak. Okay, so white can take on c7, and then black takes on g5. So the position's probably around equal. Yeah, but queen g4 is probably the best move because I don't see really anything better for white in this position. For example, if you take on f6, rook takes f6, and the whole king side just might fall apart after knight f4. He can also try knight takes g6, h6, g6, and now queen g4. Okay, let's see what black played. Oh. Okay, black played queen c8 in this position, which, okay, might be a little too creative, but I'll give him creative points for that. Because his idea is after queen takes c8, rook takes c8, now the c7 pawn is defended. Okay, so let's see what... Now maybe white can play knight f5. Yeah, that's annoying. Knight f5, threatening knight e7, and knight takes d6 as well. Oh, he plays knight f3, which is also really logical. Yeah, now black is sort of paralyzed. Okay, at some point he'll have to take on g4, but already the g5 pawn is defended, so white is better, much better. Yeah, this is not good. Okay, he does take on g5 immediately, which is also logical. Now, yeah, white plays knight takes g5, and now the e6 square is also weak, so the white knight can try to jump there. Yeah, you have to go into the endgame, or else you might just get checkmated as black. Okay, maybe rook f4. Yeah, I think rook f4 might be the best try for black. Yeah, rook f4, now queen takes c. Okay, he played knight f4. Okay. That's an interesting move. Knight takes g6 looks logical. And if knight takes g6, knight e6. But black can take back with the pawn. Okay, so he just does play knight takes g6. Black will probably take with the pawn, just to keep control over this important square. And now, maybe there's some like rook c3, rook f3 ideas. Yeah, that looks interesting. Or rook c3, rook c1, just doubling up. No, you can't do that. Oh, okay. So that is kind of surprising, because now c7 is hanging. So black takes back the knight, and then white just takes the pawn on c7. Okay, but you have to do that anyway, so. Okay, so he does go for knight takes g6. Oh, and his idea is to play knight e5. Just to put his knight on a good square. Knight e5. Black is down a pawn, but white has to be a little bit careful, or else he might allow too much counterplay. Let's see what he does. Okay, he plays rook f4. Okay. That is an interesting move, rook f4, attacking g4 pawn. If I go f3, he's gonna go h6, knight e6. Yeah. White should play f3 in this position, just to defend this pawn. And after f3, if black plays h6, we go knight e6, and this pawn is hanging here. So, yeah, white should definitely go f3. f3 has one problem though. Black can try knight e5. Then we just go king g2. Yeah, that should be good for us. Okay, let's see if Arthur finds it. They are getting low on time, so there might be some mistakes coming. Okay, let's clear this position so that we see the position clearly. Yeah, so f3 was played. And now I'm guessing he'll probably play knight e5 or h6. Something like that. Yeah, white is up a pawn, so he's in the driver's seat, and he has more time. Okay, here, okay, white has rook e3, which is a nice move, defending the e3 pawn, f3 pawn. And now his threat is actually rook takes g7. So the idea is rook takes g7. Okay, now he has rook takes g7. And the idea is king takes knight e6 with the fork attacking these two pieces. So let's see if Arthur finds that, or white finds that. Okay, he just goes knight e6 immediately, which is also nice because black is probably just doomed anyways. Okay, black has to take on f3 or play rook f7. Both don't seem like great options. Let's see what he does. Okay, so if rook takes f3, we can play rook takes g7, king h8, and then rook takes f3. And well, black winds up 2 pawns down, so he goes rook f7 instead. But now, Okay, white does have quite a few ways to continue. He can take on f7 and play rook c3, which is probably what I would do. And that's probably the simplest as well, so. Yeah. Or he can just move his king to f2. Okay, he takes on f7, and his idea is probably rook c3. Or f4 is also pretty tempting in this position. Both are winning. Okay, he goes there. Okay, now rook c3, it's clear. Taking over the c file. Okay, black is running out of time, but okay, so rook c3, threatening rook c7, which black would probably want to stop, or else he just loses his entire 7th rank. So rook a7 is probably best move, but now white goes rook c7 anyways, and here after rook c7 takes, knight takes, we win a queenside pawn, and we end up 2 pawns up, which is winning. Okay, so okay, yeah, rook c6 is also completely winning as well. Okay, black probably is going to play king e7. And again, you can play something like f4, or you can go into that rook c7 line. Just depends how you choose to win. Oh, okay, so in this case, white won on time. Okay, they started a new game. But in that position, white was winning anyways, so it didn't really matter the time situation. Okay, so in this position, in this game, white plays a closed Sicilian. And now his idea is to develop with knight f3, g3, d3, bishop g2, castle. And black plays a standard reply, fianchettoing his dark square bishop. Okay, he goes bishop c4. Black probably goes knight f6. Okay, or e6, knight e7 is probably cleaner. Knight e7, black plays knight, okay, knight c6, preventing d4 is fine as well. Okay, knight e7, castle. And now one of black's main ideas is to play d5, d6 to d5, and once he does that successfully after he castles, he definitely equalizes, so. And then white has to be slightly careful, not to be worse. Okay, he goes bishop d2. Okay, yeah, castling is logical. Yeah, so now black wants to play d5, or even a6, b5 is also an idea. Okay, white plays bishop b3, which is a prophylactic move against d5. Now for d5, white's plan is to play e5, and hopefully shut this dark square bishop out. Okay, so black has this plan of rook b8 with the idea of b5, which is also another standard plan in this type of position. And here it looks strong because b5 doesn't look like it's stoppable, so let's see if he plays rook b8. What are some white ideas in this position? White Yeah, I don't think white really has a clear plan right now. He's simply just trying to defend against all black's ideas. Okay, a6, also with the same idea to play b5 and bishop b7. And here white can play a4. It might be a little bit weakening, but yeah, I think he should definitely play a4. At least once black plays b5 at some point, he opens up the 5. Okay, so white plays queen e1 and allows b5. But now, let's see what his idea. He wants to go queen h4. Yeah, the standard queen e1, queen h4 maneuver is interesting. Okay, b5, black plays b5. Okay, white probably goes queen h4. The pawn here isn't really that relevant, so... And plus, if black's not really threatening b4 because white just goes knight a4, protecting this pawn. I would also consider something like h4 or h5. But after h4, black can play h5, so... Yeah. It's tough to see how white is gonna attack. Okay, so white plays rook b1, defending the b2 pawn. Probably not completely necessary, but also logical. So, yeah, here, black should probably play rook b8, because I think the rook belongs on b8 and not a8. So, yeah. The bishop... Now, one question black really has to answer is whether this bishop goes on d7 or b7. Because if it goes on b7, which is the more natural square, this e6 pawn could potentially become weak and be subject to some f5 push. Okay, so black plays d5 in this position, threatening the move c4, trapping the white bishop. Oh, okay, so white plays e5, but now black has c4, winning a piece. So that was a nice little trap. c4, and now the bishop can't move anywhere because the pawn just takes. Yeah, so black is completely winning in this position. Nice trap. Okay, takes, d-takes. Yeah. Nothing special. Okay, now this pawn is also weak and could be subject to target. Okay, white would probably play knight e4 here, just to try to get some kind of play. Queen e4 doesn't really do anything, since this knight is protected by this knight. So, black can play... Okay, he wants to take the c4 pawn, which, again, in this position is probably not so relevant. But white has to try something, right? So here, a logical move would be a5. Yeah, a5 is a logical move, with the idea of playing bishop a6 and defending this pawn. So let's see what direction black wants to go. Yeah, black can also just give up this pawn, but yeah, I mean, why not protect it? You might as well protect it if you can, so a5 seems the most logical. Okay, white does have one pawn for the piece, which is some compensation. And the fact that this bishop is like pretty terrible. Okay, so black is thinking. Yeah, actually there's really no other way to protect this pawn, so it's either you see a5 or you don't. And if you don't, then it's natural to continue thinking because you don't want to lose this pawn. Okay, so black really is thinking for a long time. Hopefully he doesn't need that time later in the game once things get complicated. Black can also try some rook b8, rook b4 ideas. Yeah. If I were black, I would just play a move, any move. Like actually even knight a5 might be playable. Okay, bishop b7 is also possible. But like I said here, knight a5 with the idea that after queen takes a8, black has queen b6 check, followed by bishop b7 trapping the queen. So that was also an idea for black. But bishop b7, and now white's definitely going to take this pawn, since that was his idea. Yeah, and let's see what black came up with. Oh, knight takes e5. Wow, that was nice. So the idea is that if pawn takes, then bishop takes f3, and this bishop is hanging on d2. And if knight takes, then this bishop is also hanging on d2. So taking advantage of the fact that this knight is overloaded. And it also removes the defender as well. So that's a nice move. Okay. Queen takes d2. Okay, so yeah, luckily this pawn is hanging. So for example, if black tries something like knight takes e5, and you take on d2, rook d. Oh wait, no. Queen g2 is also hanging, so there's no queen trap ideas, anyways. Okay, so white did play knight takes e5, and black plays queen takes d2, and now this pawn is hanging, which means that there's no possible way that the black queen could be trapped. So let's see what white comes up with. So those 4 minutes spent by black was well spent coming up with this idea, which clarifies the position. Okay, so now black probably plays queen e3 or queen d6. I would play queen d6. Okay, he does that. White plays probably rook d1, trying to be annoying. And rook d1 actually is pretty annoying. Oh, black has knight d5, so that's nice. So I'm guessing he plays rook d1. So there's this like resource on chess.com where you can guess other people's moves. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, and basically I'm gonna guess he plays knight d5 just to protect his queen from this rook. And it also frees this e7 square for the queen. So knight d5. So what's the material situation here? Okay, it's a piece for only a pawn now, so should be relatively easy to convert. Okay, he goes queen d8, but now he allows knight d7. Oh, but black has this queen c8 move, which is nice. So the idea of queen c8 is that white cannot take the rook. Actually, even this might not be great, because black can just take on c8. So anyways, the idea was that if white takes the rook, then the queen is hanging. So now black has to take, white has to take here. And after black takes, white again has this knight b6 fork, which is annoying. Okay, but I do believe he definitely has some resource. Okay, knight b6 is going to be played. And now bishop takes c3. And if you take back, then rook d8. Nice move. And you probably should take the rook on c8. Yeah. And b takes c3, rook takes c3. Yeah, and this... Okay. Yeah, what am I saying? Not rook takes c3, because rook d7. But bishop d5 is good enough. And the position should be it should be winning. Black has 2 pieces for the rook and a pawn, but he'll definitely lose a pawn. One of these pawns, or maybe even 2 of them. So that would leave black with the decisive material advantage. So here black also has another idea of playing knight f5 to d6 to e4, attacking the queenside pawn. So okay, he plays rook d3, which is understandable. And now he can take on a2, might allow some rook d7, but after knight d5, probably nothing's happening. Yeah, that's what he does. So rook d7 or rook d6, white is going to try to search for anything. Yeah, actually rook d6 makes more sense. Okay, he does play rook d7, now knight d5. Attacking these pawns. Boom, boom. This pawn is undefended. Like, it can't be defended. Okay, so he attacks this pawn, but now black has bishop c4. Yeah, protecting this pawn, and his next move is bishop b5, and this pawn would be hanging again. For instance, white plays rook f3. And now black would probably play bishop e2 first, just to annoy white a little bit, since the rook really has no good squares. So Yeah, the rook is overloaded. It can't defend everything. Okay, he plays something else, but it's still winning anyways. So his idea now is to play rook b8, rook b1, and then maybe rook c1 and just gobble up these two pawns. Yeah. Sadly, white has not a single lick of counterplay, so... Okay, rook b2, now this pawn is hanging. Okay, he goes check, check. Doesn't change difference. Okay, so now white might just go rook c8. Yeah. Oh, which is actually slightly annoying again. Okay, c4, and luckily black has this knight b6 resource. Right, because this is a fork. Oh, actually, yeah, you can just take on c2. Missed that. So the idea is that white cannot take any of the pieces because this rook is hanging on c8. Okay, he plays c5, but at this point, anything wins. I mean, at least white did get a pass pawn, so he was successful. Okay, anyways, he's gonna lose the pawn. Here, rook d8 and bishop c6. Rook a3, knight b4. Okay. Okay, now rook c8 back. So, black didn't make any progress, but he's gonna choose something else now. Oh, actually, the easiest way to win is probably knight e7. Just move the knight to c6, and then gobble up the pawn. Okay, so he plays bishop d7 again. Yeah, I'm sure a draw is not something he wants, so... Okay, he is low on time. So he's gonna play rook a8, knight c7. Yeah, that's his idea. Does allow some slightly unnecessary complications, but yeah, knight c7. Oh, okay. That is sort of surprising as well. Oh, actually, knight b4 here. Yeah. Okay, so nice calculation. Okay, now the game is over. c5 is gone, and yeah, and so is the rest of the game. Black did manage to convert his advantage into a W, so yeah, here everything just wins, like knight d5, g5. Yeah, g5 is probably the simplest. Actually, there's no simplest move because everything's simple. So rook e2, knight c6. Yeah. King slowly moves up the board. Boom, boom. Okay, knight d4. Okay, rook c2. Okay, that's game over. Because once you trade off everything, now the king really just goes up the board. Okay, let's let them play out the rest of the game without comment. Okay. Okay, all black has to do, okay, now just bring this king to f5 and just slowly push his pawn. So, okay, or just, yeah, box out the king. Push, push. Now a new queen is born. Okay, good game. That was pretty nice. Okay, so they're rematching again. Knight c6, bishop b5. a6, bishop a4. So they went to a different line of the Roy Lopez. Bishop c5. Now knight takes e5 is a move. Okay, or he just castled. Yeah, black is not really developing his king side, and that might be a little risky. So white probably plays c3, d4 comes next, quickly. Yeah, I mean, you can play rook e1, okay, but d4 would have been probably stronger, just opening up the king side before black castles. Okay, so castle is expected. And after d4, bishop b6. This position does look familiar, doesn't it? It's really similar to the first game, actually. Oh, it's kind of the same position, actually. So here, hopefully, white improves and goes knight c3 instead of repeating what they did in the first game. Or he might just go bishop d2 and transpose in the first game. So you guys remember bishop d2, bishop takes d2, knight takes d2, bishop g4 was the same position in the first game. And there, black was actually a little bit better, so I wouldn't repeat that again if I were white. Oh, but he does. Yeah, it's understandable because he did win the first game, so he probably thinks that. Okay, black also repeats the same thing, so h3, bishop h5. It's funny, they really played a different move order, but they transposed into the same position. And that's not even that easy to do, especially in like the Roy Lopez. Oh, so white does improve on his play and plays queen c2, like I recommended in the first game, instead of g4. So that's a nice improvement. Yeah, now the king side is still safe for white, and he can just build up on the c file. Maybe even win something. For example, if black plays queen d7 after rook c1, I think we just win the c7 pawn. So black has to move his knight somewhere, probably to a5. Yeah. White can still play rook c1. And oh, maybe white also has d5 ideas. Yeah. Here d5 ideas are stronger because now the knight goes to d4. Okay, queen d7 was played, but now after rook c1, white just wins a pawn. According to my calculations, rook c1. Yeah, maybe it has something better, but I would just play rook c1 here. Maybe e5 is also an option, but rook c1 is simplest. Okay, knight somewhere a5 probably, and queen takes d7. Anytime he takes on f3, knight takes f3. Okay, that doesn't really help that much. Okay, he does want to go to knight d3, so that actually makes some sense. So queen takes c7, takes, knight d3. And let's say we play rook b1. Yeah. Okay, we can also look at other moves like queen c3, attacking the knight. But now black has a5. And after a3, black can maybe play knight a6, and it protects the pawn. Queen takes a5 and knight c5. Okay, that also looks pretty good, actually. So, black is probably deciding which one of those to play. Oh, queen c3, maybe black has c5 in this position. That I didn't really consider, and I probably should have. And it's an easy move to miss, but a5 is natural, and a3 here. Knight a6, queen takes a5, so he did see that. Oh, there's also some slight complications. Queen takes a5, b4. It's a tricky move. Yeah, queen takes a5, b4 is slightly tricky because if you take with the pawn, then we have knight c5 with the discovered attack on the queen. At some point, white can also play g4 or maybe e5. Oh, maybe e5 is strong. Because white has his entire position developed and he just blows up in the center. And that's what he does. He plays e5, which is a nice move. And after d takes e5, guessing knight takes e5 is good enough. Yeah, I mean, you can also take with the pawn, but black plays knight d5, you play queen d4. So the line I'm looking at is takes. Okay, so that's what happened. And knight d5, which I think here white can play what to do after knight d5. White can play queen d4, or white can just play queen c6, or white can just simply take on a5. Oh, white can't take on a5 actually because of knight b4. Yeah. Instinctively, I just want to move my queen somewhere to like d4 or something. I feel like somewhere there it has to be good for a reason. Oh yeah, queen d4 actually looks really good because we have this threat of e6 and knight e5, as well as this knight being vulnerable on d5 square. But after queen d4, black has knight b6, which is actually a little bit annoying as well. Oh, but we can take and then play e6, so that's the key idea. So let's see how black responds here. Okay, he does play knight b6. And now we have queen takes d7 and e6, or queen h4, or anything. Yeah, I would probably play queen takes d7 and e6. That looks pretty strong. G4 also looks pretty strong. Yeah, G4 looks really strong, actually. Okay, but he played queen takes d7, which is understandable. After knight takes d7, g4. Okay, e6. Our original idea. Okay, black does have knight c5, which maybe enables him to survive for a little longer. But I'm sure there's something. Yeah, but bishop d5 is a move. Okay, he plays e7. Oh yeah, e7, rook e8, bishop d5, probably. Yeah, attacking the rook. Once the rook moves, you play bishop c6. You do have to worry about knight d3 though, but after bishop takes e8, it seems everything is going well. Okay, so he moves his rook, and now bishop c6 is the expected move. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see any other, like, logical move. I mean, g4 is logical, but technically white can play anything and still be better. So, I mean, still be winning. Bishop c6, knight d3, bishop takes e8, rook takes e8, and how does white end the game in that position? Yeah, not sure how white exactly ended the game in the position. Yeah, and I'm guessing he's calculating as well. Okay, okay, knight d4, wow. Yeah, and after knight d3, what is he planning? To play bishop b6. Okay, I gotta admit, that's pretty genius, this idea of knight d4 and bishop b7. That is hard to even consider, let alone play. It's impressive. Wow, knight d4, bishop b7. Okay, so now, once you get into this position, you realize that white is clearly winning because he's forking these two pieces, and bishop takes a6, followed by bishop b5, probably wins another piece. So, wow, that is simply amazing. Rook a c8. Wow, this knight d4. I'm kind of still in shock because knight d4 is just like such a beautiful move. Knight d3, bishop b7. Wow, that is really impressive, actually. Okay, but anyways, back to our game. Black plays c5, and now white has a couple of moves. He can play knight takes b5, which is obviously the simplest of all, and he does that. And after rook b6, knight c7 should end the game. Okay, let's see what black does here, because can't really stop knight c7 and knight d6. Okay, now knight c7 wins. Yeah, and knight d6 also wins, but knight c7 is cleanest. Okay, rook takes a6, knight takes e8 is the cleanest. Knight takes e8 with the threat of knight f6 check. And after knight takes e6, I expect black probably to play rook e6. But then we have knight f6. Okay, he takes on a6, which is also clean because he's just gonna win a rook. Knight c7 back again. And now next move we take on e8, play knight c4. Game over. Okay, now we can just queen, and we end up 2 pieces above our opponent. Yeah, that's definitely not the best way to say it, but okay, he plays knight c4, which is also possible. Bishop e8, knight takes e8, knight d6, okay. Okay, he plays rook c8, and now you can find... Okay, that's... Okay, queen, bishop takes... Just promote to a rook. He's going to promote to a rook. Unless he has automatic queen promotion, which he does. And bishop takes e8, rook takes e8 is checkmate. So that's pretty nice. Okay, so that's 1 hour, I think, and that's going to be it for today. And thank you guys for joining me. And these were really, really interesting games. So they played 3 high-quality games. And hopefully I can see you guys in another event sometime. Bye.